After my initial review of Rogue Company and my conclusion into the question, should you play Rogue Company, link in the description, to my absolute amazement, I've become slightly addicted to this game. I find myself waking up every day wanting to play this game, and quite frankly, it beats trying to find a girlfriend, that's for sure. However, with this game being in its infancy, I remain firm and optimistic about what this game needs to do to change and improve to become the new and great staple in the gaming FPS genre. One of these big changes has just been announced, which will change the direction of the game forever. Yesterday, the lead developer of Rogue Company released a video to Twitter giving a brief overview of what we can expect from a rank matchmaking system in Rogue Company. Here's that video now.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today, it is time to talk about Ranked Beta. Let's get after it. Woo! Ranked Beta is our competitive game mode that's meant to put your skills, strategy, teamwork, and communication to the test. In this queue, we will prioritize matches where both teams are evenly skilled. In our next release, Ranked Beta will be played exclusively on Demolition. We're open to creating another playlist, but we want your feedback to inform that decision. What game mode do you all want to see a ranked playlist for? Anyways, back on topic. Ranked Beta features a total of 30 ranked levels, and in order to queue for Ranked Beta, you must be level 30. Cute, isn't it? All players will start at level 1 with the goal of achieving Rogue, aka level 30. The only way to rank up is by winning matches, which means that players can derank by losing matches. There are currently 2 rewards available for Ranked Beta. The first reward is a banner that is unlocked by playing 30 ranked matches. The second reward is an avatar that can only be earned by reaching the coveted level 30, aka Rogue level. During Ranked Beta, we're looking at the data, and we're also looking at ways to improve the system holistically, such as adding a ban phase or looking to add more rewards. Please do not hesitate to give us feedback. We want to create the system that you all want. As always, we love you. Take it easy.
This is the first video of probably many to come, so I'm sure we'll be graced with more information to come before the release of the ranked system next patch. I believe they have done this at the perfect time, as the game has just become free to play. This has given the less experienced players the chance to fully get involved in the game, and just enough time before seasoned pros, like myself, get a bit bored of the game. Rogue Company knows keeping players interested is their #1 priority right now, especially with the massive backing of the 2-time man himself, Dr. Disrespect. So this news comes as a bit of a wet dream for most of us Rogue Company players who are looking for the next challenge, and let's face it, almost all casual lobbies are dead at the moment, and full of what only can be described as Switch players, or at least that's what their movement looks like. However, I'm a little scared that as this could literally make or break this great game. So it's so important that Rogue Company gets this right. And here are some things I think they need to consider and possibly piggyback of what other great ranked competitive games do so well. So let's break down this video. It was confirmed that the only game mode to go ranked in this beta is Demolition. Now this has caused a bit of a split amongst the Rogue Company community on Twitter, where a lot of people's favourite game modes like Extraction and Strikeout won't be going live in ranked yet. While I understand and enjoy these game modes myself, my experience in competitive games like Counter-Strike and Valorant tells me that this format, like Demolition, works. It's so important that they build a foundation for all Rogue Company players before diluting the player base across many ranked game modes. Now, one thing that I think that absolutely needs to change in Demolition before it goes ranked is the fact that if you're actively defusing a bomb before the timer runs out, it will allow you to complete the bomb defusal even though the bomb should have blown up, which literally makes no sense. Imagine every movie with a bomb. It would just be boring. There is no need or there is no tension of that wire cutting moment with 2 seconds left to go. Whether they should cut the red or green wire, it literally makes no sense. It literally doesn't appear in any other competitive bomb game modes across any other competitive ranked systems. So please do change this, Rogue Company. This needs to change. In the video, they briefly talk about MMR, which is matchmaking ratio, and how you will gain it or lose it. They say that a win will gain you MMR, and a loss will lose you MMR. Now, while this seems very easy to understand and a basic ranking progression system, in my opinion, it's too basic. This will allow players and parties of players to carry their friends to higher ranks that they would not be able to achieve by themselves normally. They need to include factors like downs, eliminations, assists, and yes, plants. Well, I agree that I think that these factors should be less weighted than a win. I also think is a very important factor in ranking a well-rounded Rogue Company player. While we're talking about ranked and ranking players, let's talk about ranking queues. I'm interested to see that if they implement different queues into ranked. For example, a solo queue / duo queue and a full squad queue. These different queues will allow a new challenge every time you play, because when you queue solo or duo, you will only know at least one person in the game and understand how they play. So you will need to work with your new team and communicate with them to progress to victory. This opposed to playing with a four-man squad pre-made where you have set tactics and strategies that you've been working on for weeks to win a game will really change up the pace of a game. I would hate to think that somebody solo queuing gets put against a four-man pre-made team and gets absolutely stomped and doesn't stand a chance. League of Legends is a great example of this that do it so successfully, so they should take some inspiration from what they ultimately do really well. And this, I can't see this being in the beta, but it's definitely something they should consider when moving on to the full launch of the game. Talking about the full launch of this game and the full launch of like the ranking system, one thing that I think is absolutely essential for the longevity of this game and something that will benefit this game long term is a pick and ban phase. Currently on screen you can see a tier list of characters in order of their strength, which quite frankly if everyone knew this they would be picking these characters. However, as the popularity of this game rises, I can only slowly see people coming to adapt to these characters and be playing these characters more consistently. My worry is that these ranked games will just turn into the same 4 characters being picked every single game. This will make the meta and gameplay of ranked as stale as like a 14-year-old's room, and it's something that nobody desires. So a pick and ban phase will allow for different kinds of metas, different playstyles, and will force players to play other characters other than Lancer and Scorch. However, I understand that the characters are very limited at the moment for definitely people that haven't played the game for long or purchased other characters, so this could bottleneck the player base, but something like this definitely should be considered or implemented sooner rather than later. While I understand this is a beta, a question I've got on my mind is, will the ranks reset after the beta? Yes, it is a beta, however, you are still technically playing ranked, so I would like to see some progression or carryover or some weighting to influence your placement in your real rank when the real ranking system goes live. I think this could technically be called Season 0, and I do think the rank should be reset at the end of every season and there should be a ranking season, so definitely something to consider. So while we're talking about ranks, let's talk about the ranks themselves. The ranks themselves are on screen right now, and yes, they don't look very exciting and frankly quite unoriginal. I believe, or I hope, that these are somewhat placeholders for the beta, something to represent your rank throughout the beta, but I think these will need a change for something that's a bit more appealing and something worth investing a lot of time and effort into achieving. Yes, they're just numbers at the moment with a very boring color scheme, and let's be honest, literally none of them jump out to me apart from maybe the Rogue rank, which is the highest rank, but also they've made it the biggest and made it stand out the most. However, it must be said, they are very basic and easy to understand, which is great for new players, but they've also implemented that classic bronze to diamond progression system, which is followed by Master and Rogue, which I guess kind of helps people with prior knowledge of other games to understand how this ranking system works. But I think they need to make them more visually appealing so people can push harder for that amazing Rogue rank. Let's put the rank announcement aside for 1 second and let's talk about communication. As communication is the single most important part of any ranked experience. Currently we have voice chat, which we can communicate from player to player. We have the useful ping system, which we can notify our teammates with a variety of information very quickly. Well, I think this is amazing and a must in any 2020 online game. There is no in-game chat box for people to use. This is such a basic thing to have in a game and is such an advantage for PC players. If I want to tell my team I'm going to push B quickly, then I can. This also eliminates the variable of none of your team having mics. Yes, it's crazy to think in 2020 people still don't have mics, and it blows my mind. They are so cheap. But also at the same time, I guess we've got to consider that some people just don't want to use their mics. They just can't use their mics because I don't know, their mum's cooking, or it's 1 a.m. in the morning and they can't wake their parents up. Like, that's understandable. So the introduction of a chat box will eliminate that variable, and it will just introduce a better way for people to communicate. And let's face it, the chat box is in all amazing, successful competitive games. Counter-Strike, Valorant, League of Legends, you name it, it is there. And I know with the good comes the bad. So the good being introducing the chat box, that's great. But the bad comes in the sense of people being toxic in chat. And telling you lots of horrible things about your mother or things they've done to your mother. But I believe this is an easier way to moderate than voice chat. If someone's being toxic, just report them, mute them, and get on with your day. Because let's face it, there is only one place for toxic people, and that is in the bin. In conclusion, I am absolutely over the moon with this announcement. I can't honestly believe it's here. But I think one thing people need to remember is, like, I don't believe for 1 second that this will be a quick process in developing a great ranking system. But all of us playing the game right now will have the unique opportunity to shape this game for the future. I think we need to all use Twitter, use this comment section here, like the video, get all your thoughts and ideas out there while the ranking system is still being shaped in its early stages. Please keep in mind throughout this process, though, that this is a beta, but I do understand it is important that they get ranked right. Mark my words, people, come back to this video in a year or so and see the improvement that Rogue Company will do. They have the opportunity right now to spawn a great game with a potential for a massive esports following, which ultimately will generate them more revenue for this game, thus improving the experience and directly bringing more eyes and players to this great game. This is the tipping point for Rogue Company, people. Are they ready for the challenge? Well, I guess we will just have to wait and see. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe for more content and keep enjoying this great game. I'll see you in the next one.